Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. A late winter blast hitting the southern tier. For the very latest on the conditions, let's start with meteorologist Sam Ryan. Sam?
Hi everyone. Expect numerous power outages around the state and travel concerns. We have a winter weather advisory until Wednesday morning. Just to the east and to the north, we have winter storm warnings. Again, until Wednesday morning, not only will we see heavy snowfall at times, especially throughout our Tuesday, we'll also have some strong winds to contend with, reducing visibility out there. I'll have more for you with your full forecast all coming up.
All right, thanks, Sam. And let's go now to our Maggie Hall. She spoke with some winter weather experts to give us all the reminders on ways to stay safe in this winter weather.
The advisory begins later this evening, 11 o'clock tonight. So, and then it'll last through until Wednesday morning. So this will impact folks' commutes tomorrow morning and afternoon.
Be sure to give plows room as they clear the roads. Keep a winter emergency kit in your car as well.
A winter emergency kit in their car, which can include a number of things, a flashlight, gloves, hats, scarves, blankets, believe it or not, kitty litter in case you were to get stuck. Can provide some extra grip to help you get out.
If you decide to take a walk in the snow, be prepared.
I mean, it's winter in New York. It's a beautiful time of the season. Bundle up, make sure you wear layers, make sure you wear a hat to cover your head.
In case of power outages,
if the power goes out and you have electric heat, try to close off your house and bring people together into one room or one area of the house. Typically centrally located. Draw your windows and your curtains and your blinds closed to try to hold that heat inside. Make sure that you have batteries available for flashlights and things like that. Make sure you have some, games, card games, board games, things like that for the family.
Big Fox News will continue to update you on these winter weather conditions. And Sam will be back in just a few minutes to give you your complete forecast. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
A new name has appeared on Market Street and Water Street, but it's an already well-known and loved local business. Pop and Paint, formerly Wine and Design, has reopened under its new name. The business was reintroduced with a grand reopening after finishing a franchise contract with Wine and Design. The studio will still be offering painting parties, but now with more of a focus on DIY and providing classes for younger painters. Pharmacies across the country are experiencing medication shortages. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg spoke with one local pharmacy about how the shortage is impacting people on both sides of the counter.
The nationwide Adderall shortage is currently in its 6th month, and there are few signs to show any relief coming anytime soon.
It started probably back in the fall, where it was initially just the immediate release formulations that were just on a manufacturer back order. And then that kind of snowballed into the extended release products and then the other medications that are in that same class or used for the same thing.
Adderall and other ADHD medications are especially important for young kids who may need extra help focusing in school.
So especially for a lot of the kids that take it, they get on a medication that works for them, helps them focus at school or whatever the case may be. And then if they're all of a sudden having to switch to a different medication, they have to get used to that new dose or that new formulation.
But it's not just Adderall and other ADHD medications that are experiencing a shortage. Ozempic and other flu medications help make up some of the over 100 medications currently on the FDA's drug shortage database.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it's hard for parents, it's hard for prescribers. We are kind of just the middlemen, so unfortunately we don't have a lot of control over what we can get. Sometimes it's just you have to call around and see what pharmacies have what you need, and then just work with the prescriber to send the prescription to that other pharmacy, unfortunately.
The full list of drugs experiencing a shortage and expected release dates is available on the FDA's website. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Waverly.
Do you have any questions for local law enforcement? Well, Corning Police Chief Kenzie Spalding and Steuben County Sheriff Jim Allard will hold a Coffee with the Chief event this Friday at the Corning Wegmans Cafe. The event is being held from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and will allow residents to meet face-to-face with our community's leaders. The Elmira Express boys bowling team crowned state champions. Both the boys and the girls teams traveled to Syracuse for states last Friday. The boys team won the Division I championship against Hilton High School with a total score of 6,314 pins. This is the first team state title for Elmira High School. After a weekend of financial uncertainty, President Biden is projecting confidence in the U.S. banking system, even after two massive banks worth hundreds of billions of dollars collapsed, the second and third largest failures in U.S. history. Lauren Blanchard in Washington with more.
The nation is looking to President Biden to calm financial fears after the failure of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank.
Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them.
He's promising to increase oversight and regulation.
We must get the full accounting of what happened and why those responsible can be held accountable. In my administration, no one is above the law.
Over the weekend, federal regulators stepped in to ensure all deposits at the two banks as fears of missing payroll grew. A sigh of relief since many depositors are not insured for more than $250,000. The Treasury Department, Federal Reserve, and FDIC say customers will have access to their money starting Monday. At the opening bell, stocks were down. Investors are still jittery. Silicon Valley Bank, which caters to startups, failed Friday and had more than $200 billion in assets. Signature Bank was shut down on Sunday and holds more than $110 billion in assets.
I think the first question here is how much additional, panic is there? Have they calmed the panic?
Regulators are trying to find buyers for the banks, but some lawmakers say the failures are the result of bad policy.
When interest rates go up, the Fed had to raise interest rates to combat the Democrat inflation.
The president says this is not a bailout like in 2008 since no taxpayer money will be used. Instead, the FDIC will use deposit insurance funds until they can find buyers for the banks. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Islamic radicals say Fulo Saipov is sentenced to life in prison for the deadly New York City bike path attack. The jurors in the penalty phase could not reach a unanimous decision Monday on the death sentence, meaning Saipov will spend the rest of his life in prison without parole. The 35-year-old Uzbek national was convicted in January on 28 counts of killing 8 people after driving a truck into a Manhattan bike lane in 2017. The Biden administration approves a 30-year oil drilling project in Alaska. The Department of the Interior approved 3 of 5 drilling sites that ConocoPhillips had proposed. ConocoPhillips said it would need to drill at least 3 sites to make the project viable. The area where the drilling will happen is located in the country's Natural Petroleum Reserve. We're back with your complete forecast next, plus this.
The future of plastic is changing. I'm Jackie Ibanez with a look at how one of the world's worst nuclear accidents is inspiring plastic made from rice. That's all straight ahead.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Sam Ryan. Well, this nor'easter is going to be moving by as we head through our Tuesday. That's when we'll expect the heaviest snow, not only locally here, but across the state. It looks like the hardest hit areas may end up being just on our doorstep to the east. Binghamton, Syracuse, Schenectady, Albany certainly could have well over a foot of snowfall in many areas. And again, here locally, even still looking at heavy snow, along with it, strong winds, and that wind is going to reduce visibility with blowing snow. The system moves out Wednesday morning, starts to taper off from west to east across the area. And we'll still have some blowing snow concerns even into the day Wednesday, due to the breezy winds that will continue, but then they'll quickly diminish. We have winter weather advisories out until Wednesday morning. In the purple, in the pink, that's a winter storm warning where we're expecting some higher snowfall amounts. So Elmira here, Corning, we're right on the cusp of that snowfall, the heaviest gradient, if you will. Show you everything here with the forecast model. Time things out as we wake up Tuesday morning. Might have a little break, but again, just additional bands of snow will be hitting the area, a little more continuous just off to our east. And then Wednesday morning, notice how it tapers off. We even have clearing developing to the west. Here's the National Weather Service snowfall forecast ending Wednesday. And we see again, Syracuse, 12 to 18 inches. For us, we're looking at 4 to 6 inches of snow. Again, higher amounts just to the east, west, it starts to taper off. We're seeing that sharp gradient. We're right on the cusp. And you get into areas just to the east, that's almost up to a foot of snowfall in parts. We'll probably have numerous power outages, a typical nor'easter that we see moving on through. Peak wind gusts 35 miles per hour, might even be a little higher in some spots. 31 degrees at midnight, 28 at 3 a.m., 27 at 6 a.m. We'll have that on-off snow showers continuing here for the day Tuesday, as temperatures will tap out in the mid-30s. Not bad, around 34, and up to the north, some upper 20s in a few spots. Everything moves out Wednesday, but as I mentioned, so we'll hit a high of 38 degrees, but we'll still have that wind, breezy, up to 30 to 35 miles per hour. And so we'll have blowing snow, especially through the first half of the day. I think will still be somewhat of a concern out there. Then the winds diminish. We get a break in the action. Thursday, get outside, hit the beach, maybe not really, but 49 degrees with some sunshine. And that's ahead of our next system that warms us up. So the winds turn out of the south-southwest. And for Friday and Saturday, we'll have some rain showers, possibly changing back over to snow, and another cool down Sunday.
Disney's CEO talks pricing at theme parks. Pfizer will increase its cancer drug portfolio, and Mediterranean diets could lower the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Tanya J. Powers has those stories in today's Business Briefs.
Walt Disney CEO Bob Iger says his company may have been too aggressive with price increases at Disney theme parks. Iger spoke last week at a conference hosted by Morgan Stanley. He said Disney may have been too aggressive with its pricing, quote, in our zeal to grow profits. Iger also says there are ways to grow the theme park's business but be smarter about pricing so Disney can, as Iger put it, maintain that brand value of accessibility. Pfizer will pay around $43 billion to purchase cancer drug manufacturer Seagen. Pfizer's portfolio already includes 24 drugs approved to fight cancer. The purchase will add 4 more cancer drugs to that portfolio. Seagen specializes in antibody drug conjugates, treatment designed to target cancer while sparing healthy cells. And a recent study finds that people who maintain the Mediterranean and Mediterranean-based diets could be at a lower risk for developing Alzheimer's disease. Researchers at Rush University in Chicago analyzed the autopsy results of people who had provided their complete dietary information at the start of the study. The researchers found that people who followed a Mediterranean diet had fewer signs of Alzheimer's in their brain tissue. The study's lead author says there are some limitations to the findings. Most participants were white, non-Hispanic, and older, so the results can't be extended to other populations. That's Business. I'm Tanya J. Powers.
This weekend marked 12 years since an earthquake and tsunami struck Japan, causing the nuclear power plant in Fukushima to melt down. That tragedy sent nuclear contamination across surrounding communities, which forced thousands to leave. Now, in an effort to help farming towns in that area continue building back, one company is transforming the rice they grow into a special plastic pellet, sustaining economic and agricultural growth while promoting greener manufacturing. Jackie Ibanez takes a closer look.
The earthquake that struck Japan March 11, 2011 was the most powerful in the country's history. The disaster triggered a tsunami, which caused 3 nuclear reactors at the Fukushima Daiichi power plant to melt down, sending radioactive waste into the surrounding area.
I think it will get better.
Junichi Abe is a farmer whose rice fields were contaminated by the toxic materials. For more than a decade, the fields were empty until now. While Abe's rice won't be suitable for people to eat because of health concerns, engineers at a company called Biomass Resin are able to transform it into low-carbon plastic pellets.
This is a petroleum-based resin that was found in plastic materials, and this is rice. So the petroleum-based resin is mixed with rice to make pellets called rice resin.
The rice plastic is already being used to make toys and other products for large corporations across Japan. Biomass Resin also recently opened a factory near the Fukushima nuclear reactor. They hope it will inspire some of the thousands of people who haven't returned to the area since the disaster to move back.
If there are no jobs, then there isn't an environment for people to come back.
Scientists test the rice before turning it into plastic to ensure it doesn't pose any radioactive threats. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Still ahead, a deadly migrant smuggling operation has law enforcement expressing sadness and frustration. That story coming up. By land and by sea, migrant attempts to enter the U.S. over the weekend caused chaos for law enforcement in several states. Jackie Ibanez reports.
It's being called one of the worst maritime smuggling tragedies in the U.S., and law enforcement says catastrophes like it are becoming far too common.
Since 2017, we've had a 771% increase in human trafficking in the Southern California coastal region.
The Coast Guard says a Spanish-speaking woman called 911 late Saturday night, reporting 2 small boats, one containing 8 migrants and the other 15 capsized off the coast of San Diego, California.
That area is a very hazardous area, even in the daytime. It has a series of sandbars and inshore rip currents.
Upon arrival, first responders discovered both crafts overturned in shallow water and immediately started searching for victims.
Fog, surf conditions, pitch black down there. There's no lighting from the coast down there.
No survivors were found, but rescue teams recovered at least 8 bodies from the ocean. Crews believe anyone who made it out alive most likely left the scene before law enforcement arrived.
This is part of a transnational criminal organization effort to smuggle people into the United States.
Meanwhile, this footage captured Sunday shows roughly 1,000 migrants trying to rush across the Texas-Mexico border and enter the U.S. Border agents initiated crowd control tactics and used barricades to try and maintain order. Back in California, the Coast Guard has suspended its search for any possible survivors, but says most migrants in these situations are often labor or sex trafficked when they arrive.
Some retailers are sounding the alarm. They say shoplifting is on the rise in stores. As more people return to shopping in person, retailers say they're seeing a surge in theft, and it's hurting their bottom line. One CEO says he believes an uptick in organized retail crime in parts of the country is also playing a role. Retailers are now stepping up security, locking up items, adding more cameras, and using facial recognition software. Fans can now place their bets live during a game, and many believe it's a fun new way to participate. Julianne Lima has more on how sports fans are using their cell phones to cash in.
Alex and Alan Kondrativ may not agree on a team. I'm a longtime Bruins fan. He's from Detroit. But they do agree on one thing.
I love stakes for a game. So if there's a bet going on, then I like it.
It's more fun when you have something on the line, even if it's friendly.
For the first time ever this weekend, Bruins fans could bet on the game using their cell phone while watching it live right here at the TD Garden.
I think it just adds that extra dimension of, like, you're participating. You're making predictions, guesses of what's coming next.
DraftKings North America president and co-founder Matt Kalish says mobile sports betting is off to a spectacular start, with wagers that range from pennies to millions.
People make bets as low as 10 cents, so it's not like it costs a lot of money to try it. And it makes the games a lot more interesting.
The Boston-based company has been in business for a decade and can now operate a sports book in their home state.
I don't think anybody will understand the Massachusetts consumer better than us.
So far, 6 sports betting apps are live and active in Massachusetts. 3 more are expected to launch in the next year, and people are ready to get in on the action.
I think it brings a little extra to the game. Even if you're not rooting for the guys, you're kind of rooting for them because they could win you some cash.
Hey, if I could win money, we already have a bet going on lobster rolls for the game. So if the Bruins win, he owes us lobster rolls. So if I could make more money on the Bruins winning today, then yeah, I would definitely do it.
Stay with us. We'll have more after the break. We want to leave you with a smile. A famous ice cream treat sold at Disney parks will soon be making its grocery store debut. The Dole Whip, typically a pineapple-flavored soft-serve ice cream, will soon be available to buy at local grocery stores. The store-bought Dole Whip will come in 3 flavors: pineapple, mango, and strawberry. No exact date for store arrival has been set so far. The sweet treat arrived at Disney World and Disneyland in the mid-1980s and has been a fan favorite ever since. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks so much for watching.